So today I'm going to be building an entire NHL team through the wheel of draft classes, and being the incredibly hardworking YouTuber I am and not taking any shortcuts whatsoever, instead of creating a team, I'm just replacing the Chicago Blackhawks. Because I mean, look at this team. There's a 75 overall on their fourth line and a 76 overall on their third line. Like, this team literally has 70 overalls all the way up to their second line. The Chicago Blackhawks are being abolished and they're being replaced by the stick on the ice Hawks. So this wheel right here has every single draft class that has an active player in it, and with our first draft class, you're going to be landing on the 2019 draft. Now it would be very easy for me just to go ahead and take Jack Hughes. He's the best guy here, but we're not going to be doing that. Instead, I'm going to be spinning this wheel, and whatever round it lands on, that's where I have to select a player from, and we're not getting a great start because I have to select somebody from the 6th round. So we're going to go ahead, scroll all the way down to the 6th round, and hopefully there's an active NHL player here. We have one. This guy right here, Mark. I don't really know too much about Mark. He picked up 11 points last season in 65 games, and he also had 102 penalty minutes. So an enforcer's coming to the team right off the rip. So 5 minutes after saying I'm going to use the Chicago Blackhawks, I changed my mind. We're rebranding. We're now the Chicago Hawks. We're a completely different organization that has no connection to the Chicago Blackhawks whatsoever. So with the very first selection, we're bringing Mark Kostelic onto the team. So we're not off to the greatest start by any means. Ideally, we land on like 2015 or something. But 2011's got some studs in there too. In the 2011 draft class, we're going to see studs like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Gabriel Landeskog, Jonathan Huberdeau, but the guy that's recorded the most points from this draft class is Nikita Kucherov, as he's picked up 276 goals and 453 assists. So ideally, we get a second round selection. It doesn't look like we're going to be landing on the second round, but we're going to be getting the first round, and we can get a stud from there. However, I'm passing up on the top 3 picks from this draft, and I'm going to go with Mika Zibanejad. Another thing I have to do when building this team is I have to make sure I balance out forwards, defensemen, and goaltenders. Because the last thing I want to do is pass on a goaltender, and then next thing you know, we have a 40 overall in between the pipes for us. Can't have that happening. Moving on to our next draft class, we're getting pretty close to 2011, but this time we're sticking with 2010. Of course, we want to make a selection from the first round once again, and that's exactly what's happening. Back-to-back first round selections. You'll love to see it. So after taking a solid 30 seconds analyzing every single player on this list, I can't pass up on the St. Louis legend Vladimir Tarasenko. That's my guy, I gotta pick him up. Heading on to our next spin, we're staying around the same area as now we're selecting from 2013. I don't really recall what the 2013 draft was comprised of, but it looks like we won't be getting a high pick this time as we're going to be selecting from the 3rd round. Looking at the 3rd round from the 2013 draft class, there's a ton of solid names here. We got Brett Pesce, Pavel Buchnevich, Jake Getzel, Anthony Duclair, Carter Verhaeghe, Oliver Bjorkstrand, a ton of great players here. But out of all these players, I'm going with Brett Pesce because I don't know how many options we're going to have at drafting a good defensive defenseman. Okay, so at this point, I think we're just going to be sticking around 2010 to 2015 this entire video. Now we've got the 2014 draft class. From the 2014 draft, we're going all the way to the end of the draft as we're selecting somebody from the 7th round. But I'm going to keep it 1,000. I did not realize how many good 7th round picks came from this draft. We're getting a better selection from the 7th round than we did from the 5th round in 2019. To be fair though, the 2019 draft was only 4 years ago, so those guys haven't developed yet. But we do have some options here. Not too much consideration needs to go into this pickup. It's going to be Victor Olofsson. He's the highest overall at an 83, so I'm not going to be passing up on him. Moving right over to our next wheel spin, I want to get one of the later drafts or one of the really early drafts, but instead we're going to head back to 2011. We're going to begin a pick from the middle of the pack as we're selecting somebody from the 4th round. In the 4th round of 2013 though, one guy stands above the rest. Not much consideration needs to be done here. Johnny Gaudreau, welcome to the team. Hopefully this next draft class can either give us a good goaltender or a good defenseman, but it's 2018, and since this is a more recent draft class, not everyone from the later rounds will have developed yet. So we got to get an early round with this selection. That's the biggest issue with the newer draft classes, is nobody from the 7th round would have developed yet, so we're going to get the 7th round. Hopefully one player from the 2018 draft class from the 7th round has made the NHL. If not, we're bringing a 70 overall to the team. So this is what I mean with the newer draft classes. So here's the 1st round, a ton of players have made the NHL. 2nd round, it's a few less. 3rd round, you start to notice less and less players, and then we get all the way down to the 7th round, and there's only 3 players here. We have Josiah Slavin, Tyler Tucker, and Trey Fix-Loransky. One of these dudes stands above the rest. One of these dudes has heart, soul, and grit. And it's the guy from the St. Louis Blues, Tyler Tucker. Welcome to the team. So this is definitely not what I wanted. Tyler Tucker's in the AHL, so we're bringing an AHL player onto the team. Defensive defenseman Tyler Tucker, 74 overall. He's got potential, but he's a 74 overall and that doesn't help us. All right, just give me a really old draft class. Like give me 2005 or something. I'll take 2003. So in the 2003 draft class, there's not too many players left in the league. We have a bunch of first round picks, 1 second rounder, a 7th rounder, and then 2 9th rounders. What I'm going to do for the 9th rounders is I'm just going to consider them as 7th round picks, but that doesn't really matter because if I get a 7th round pick, I'm selecting Joe Pavelski. So yeah, we just have to pray we get a 1st round pick here. Also, if I land on a 3rd, 4th, or 5th, one that's not a 1st round pick, okay, we don't even need to worry about it. Marc-Andre Fleury, welcome to the team. Picking up a guy like Marc-Andre Fleury takes a lot of stress away. He's an 86 overall, and I know he can hold it down in between the pipes for us. So now we don't have to worry about a 70 overall leading our team. It looks like we're sticking with the older years in this next spin because we're getting the 2001 draft class. For the 2001 season, it's actually very simple. We select Craig Anderson. He's the only player remaining. Shout out to 3rd round pick, 73rd overall, Craig Anderson, drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks. I mean, technically he also was drafted in like 1999. He got drafted twice, but for this video, he's considered as the 2001 draft class. And with that selection, we officially have our goaltending tandem locked up. We have Craig Anderson backing up Marc-Andre Fleury. I also just went ahead and removed 2001 from the draft class wheel because we don't need it anymore. We're landing on 2017 though. A bunch of young prospects. Let's see who we can get. With this upcoming spin, we're going to be landing on a 4th rounder, and 2017 was far enough away where we might be able to get something decent. The 4th round from the 2017 draft class isn't looking too great for us. We do have a few solid guys here. Jeremy Swayman we could have went with. He would have been a nice backup for Marc-Andre Fleury. Torpachenko's here. He's a solid guy, but I'm passing on those guys and I'm picking up Drake Batherson. So we've officially reached the halfway point. We've got both of our goaltenders locked up. 6 forwards, 2 D-man. We need 4 more defense and 6 more forwards. This team has a lot of great depth pieces, but now we got to pick up some superstars. Give me the 2015 draft and give me the 1st round. So I just said exactly what I want. 2015 draft. We're going to be passing on it and we're heading back to 2017. Don't give me the 4th round pick in 2017. So don't you dare give me the 4th round once again. We're getting the 2nd round and I can work with that. So what I was going to say is this is a very disappointing 2nd round and there's no one here that I can really pick up. But there's this guy named Jason Robertson. He's pretty good, so I guess I'll select him. With that 2nd round selection from the Dallas Stars, 91 overall Jason Robertson is now the highest overall on this team. Well, he will be until we get the 2015 draft class. So with our next selection, we're headed back in time as we're headed to 2007. From the 2007 draft class, we're going to be getting a later round pick as we're getting the 4th round to select from. There's only one active player in the NHL that came from the 4th round of the 2007 draft class, and that's Alec Martinez, so we're bringing him onto the team. Heading on over to our next draft class, it's one of the most recent ones in the 2021. So basically, I need a 1st or 2nd round pick here. Give me something great. Do not give me 7th. It gave me 7th. There's no one from the 7th round. I can tell you that right now. There's no way somebody from the 7th round has already cracked the NHL from 2021. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up Tyson Kozak, seeing as he was the 1st pick in the 7th round. 193rd overall. Please be a 60 overall or something. So Tyson Kozak's coming in at a 63 overall. I don't care if you pick up any points this season. Just try to have a positive plus minus. That's all I ask. Okay, if you're going to give me the 7th round selection or something, you got to do it in the later drafts. But don't give me 2004 because I highly doubt there's any active players from the 2004 draft class that came from the 7th round. But from an old draft like 2004, I need the 1st round. That's not the 1st round, that's the 6th round. That's not much better than the 7th. The wheel's really screwing me today. It's the ops for real. Alright, I'm making an executive decision seeing as there's only 7 active players from this draft class. Qdobin and Thomas Greiss are 1 and 2. And I can't select either of them because I already have 2 goalies. Alex Edler, David Krejci, Goligoski, Wheeler, Malkin, and Ovechkin are the other selections. I'm just going to take whoever the lowest overall pick here is. So Goligoski's currently sitting here at an 82 overall, and I actually think he might be lower than Alex Edler because I think Edler's an 83. Just gonna double check that. Doesn't look like it. Where's Alex Edler? Oh, he's an 81. Alright, Alex Edler, welcome to the Chicago Hawks. Alright, I'm just going to keep it 1,000. Unless we get a superstar here, there's a possibility we don't make the playoffs. What does the 2015 draft class have against me? We got 2017 once again. If you're going to give me the 2017 draft class this many times, you got to give me a 1st round pick. Ain't no way you just gave me the 7th round once again. This team's not making the playoffs. So I don't really think it matters what player I select from here because no one's played over 30 games. And Caden Primu's one of the guys that's played over 20, but he's a goaltender, so we don't need him. So I guess I'm taking Wyatt. This isn't nearly as bad as I thought. He's a 77 overall. That could have been way worse, but I'll take a 77. So 2015 or 2016. Just give me something. 2004 again. Alright, this game doesn't want me to succeed. Well, we've been here before already, and we know Goligoski's the lowest overall because I already selected Alex Edler, so I'm bringing him onto the team now. And I think that means our defense is officially all set. So all we have left are forwards. Give me 2015. 2015 is all I ask for. I guess we'll have to live with 2005. You got 3 of the digits right. Just change that second 0 to a 1 and you got it on the money. So I believe there's one active player left from all of these rounds. I want the first round, but why would you give me that? Just keep on giving me the later rounds. Why would I ever want to choose between the first, second, and third round? Nah, just give me 5th, 6th, and 7th. There was a ton of fantastic options here. Sidney Crosby, Anze Kopitar, TJ Oshie, but we got between Darren Helm and Ryan Reeves. Of course, I'm going to go with Ryan Reeves. He brings that physical force to the team, and that's probably about the only reason why I'm bringing him here. St. Louis legend, by the way. Originally, when I was making this video, I thought we were going to be a decent team. You know, we would be able to compete for a Stanley Cup. But things have definitely not gone that direction. So for the rest of this video, for my next 3 spins, I can select the best player from that draft class. Maybe that will help save this team. Maybe it won't. But give me 2015, 16, and 2004. Or 5. Just give me some superstars. 2015 is all I ask. 2015's all 2022. You're kidding me. The best player's like Shane Wright or something. I'm allowed to choose the best player, and you give me the 2022 draft class. That's a joke. So out of all the players I get to select from, I guess I'm going to go with Slafkovsky because he went first overall. So our next spin's giving us 2018, and I believe that's the Nico Hischier year. We got ourselves a rare stick on the ice L. Nico Hischier was 2017. I should have known that, seeing as I've seen the 2017 draft class so much today. So I guess I'm going to go with Svechnikov. Unless there's a better option, maybe Brady Tkachuk. I'll go with Svechnikov. I would love Quinn Hughes or even Rasmus Dahlin, but we've already filled out the defense. So Svechnikov or Brady Tkachuk. Whoever's the highest overall is coming to the team. So Svechnikov and Brady Tkachuk are both tied in 89 overall, but it doesn't really matter which guy we select. This team's still not going to be good. So I'm going to go with Brady Tkachuk, seeing as I already added him to the team. All I ask is for the 2015 draft class one time, but instead you'll give me 2013, but I can live with that because that means we're going to bring Nathan MacKinnon to the team. Of course, the 2013 draft class was the one Nathan MacKinnon went first overall, so he's going to be rounding out our team. I'm not kidding. Even with Nathan MacKinnon on this team, I think the Chicago Blackhawks could beat us. So when I was talking all that smack about how they're a terrible team, I'm not even sure if we could beat them. We're an 88 overall team, so that's like 7 overalls higher than the Chicago Blackhawks, so I take that back. We're not terrible. Looking at the Chicago Hawks team, our top 6 looks absolutely amazing. Honestly, probably the best in the entire league. The bottom 6 is arguably one of the worst in the entire league. Drake Batherson, Ryan Reeves, and Victor Olofsson on that third line, and the fourth line we're not even going to discuss. Defensively, we're the worst in the entire league, and we don't even have to consider it. But in between the pipes, Marc-Andre Fleury and Craig Anderson, that's not a bad tandem. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate through the entire season. Hopefully this team can bounce back and prove everyone wrong, and maybe we can make a push for a Stanley Cup, who knows. At the end of the year, the Chicago Hawks are actually doing better than I expected with a 44, 31, and 7 record. We're making the playoffs, finishing 9th in the entire league. Considering what the defense on this team looked like, I'm actually surprised we didn't miss the playoffs. The Colorado Avalanche did. I didn't take anyone off this team. They were better than us. The Minnesota Wild were also better than us. How did both of these teams miss? So Nathan MacKinnon's picking up 91 points this season, but I just want to show this. I didn't take Nathan MacKinnon off the Colorado Avalanche. So they still had him. There's 2 Nathan MacKinnons in the league right now. How did this team miss the playoffs? I didn't take anyone off their team. I just copied the player. Also, I don't think it should be too much of a surprise, but I'm going to show it anyway. Our fourth line was absolutely terrible. Like minus 21, minus 19, minus 17. But are we really shocked? Not at all. Shout out to the man Marc-Andre Fleury though. 35 wins, 7 shouts, a 911 and a 271. Keep those up during the postseason. We might be able to do something. But it's not going to be an easy task for our first round matchup, as we're going to have to take on the Winnipeg Jets. But can somebody explain to me how the Anaheim Ducks made the playoffs but not the Colorado Avalanche? Where did the Anaheim Ducks finish in the standings? Because there's no reason they should be above the Colorado Avalanche. That just doesn't make any sense. Anaheim Ducks, where are you guys? 5th in the entire league. Alright then, relax. So far the series has been going back and forth the entire way, and now we're heading into a game 7 elimination. Real talk, all we need to do is have the defense lock in for one game. We're exchanging goals after the first period, but in the second, yeah, it's wraps. Winnipeg's taking over, they're dominating, and they're going to be taking us down in game 7 6-3. Maybe if we don't allow 4 goals in the second period and 5 unanswered in the game, we might have a chance at winning. But shout out to Vladimir Tarasenko with scoring with 14 seconds left in the game. He's the true hero. I'm just going to keep it one scundo here. We should have been a much better team, but we just kept getting screwed when it came to drafting. How many selections did I make from rounds 1 through 3 compared to rounds 4 through 7? Like, I'm pretty sure I made 5 selections from the 7th round alone. 25% of our team came from the 7th round. That might be an over-exaggeration, but you get the point. The wheel of decision's really my ops.